We are. We're finally diving into our second best of 3 of the day, following our boy Demi up against one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, mate.
Probably the poster boy of those 4 horsemen. Depending. But anyway, we are now going to be kicking off our series on 2000's Atmosphere LE. On the top right corner map, starting all the way in the top right corner, we have a blue Terran player coming down from the land of Korea. He's going to be representing Shopify Rebellion. We have ByuN.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Indian Zerg player. He just took down the best Zerg in all of Australia, Oreo, and now he's up against the Korean Terran representing Alpha X. It is Demi.
My eyes are focused entirely on Demi here. I think he's aware that, you know, he is a little bit of the underdog in this matchup. I'm really curious to see what he brings.
Yeah, he's had a lot of time to think. Let's be real here. And we'll see what he brings to the table. Meanwhile, shout out to Horse Rider in the chat. Greetings from Latinoamérica. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos todos de Latinoamérica. Sí. And I hope you have a good time. God damn it, Yaku. God damn it. But I hope you have a good time here. And ByuN, we'll see how he does. Interesting choice. Already starting off a little bit differently. Skipping his Reaper.
This is very bold from ByuN. Going up against somebody who, I mean, I can't imagine that. No, actually, now that I think about it, they probably do play each other semi-regularly in OSC stuff. Both of them very regularly. And both of them, you know, signing up for those events fairly regularly, but you have to wonder just how familiar they are with one another.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I doubt ByuN knows who Demi is. But we'll see how he does here anyway. I mean, the first Marine, it looks like, oh my god, it may even just take out this Overlord. Oh god, up!
It's close! The stutter stepping is real! One more volley! And it does go down. That's a feels bad, man.
That's a GG, mate. Oh god, Demi, he's here across the map with his own links. Can he get here in time? Can he deny this CC? No, it looks like he cannot. CC will finish. And these lings, unfortunately, took a little bit too long. And maybe they can get this. Nope, no, never mind. They just back off.
Yep. I give some flashbacks here. Like, we see a drop being set up. We see Hellions get about to be moving across the map. I'm hoping this isn't another Ratata situation.
That's the thing. Like, we've seen ByuN execute this build and just end it with this first drop and with a handful of Hellions. Like, if the Zerg player doesn't have his queens in the correct position, and if he's been too greedy joining up, then the Zerg player will just fall over and die.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Personally, I blame Ratata for changing his name, and I think that's what did it.
Pretty much, yep. 100% with you that whoever uses the name Vanya from now on will inherit all of it.
Oh yeah, inherit all the skill, all the power, all the Pokemon.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a gym leader or something named Vanya yet.
There will be after
Some
this.
Russian name.
Yeah. Copyright's open, mate. There you go. Meanwhile, the Marines are going to rock up across the map. Oh my god, another Overlord is going to go down. And again, that Hellion count is getting a little bit higher. And Armory is behind this. Again, this is the exact same build that ByuN did against Vanya those weeks ago. And hopefully Demi's a little bit more prepared. But again, he just keeps losing these Overlords. Keep losing this vision outside his bases.
Losing vision, getting heavily supply blocked. He wants to make a couple more queens, but he just doesn't have the supply to spare right now. Very important for these links to have come back and dealt with this drop, but now the Hellions are getting ready to move across the map.
Yep, not just the Hellions, Banshees as well. These Hellions are about to morph into these Hellbats. One Marine did get picked off, so at least Demi's able to slow this down a little bit by doing that. But again, like, is he going to have enough? He has a decent amount of Queens, to be fair. Like, it's going to be all about the transfuses and all about his response and pulling these links to the front line.
Well, we'll see. Hellbats have already been morphed in. Demi doesn't want to fight this at all. He backs away, tries to fight from the high ground.
Yeah, exactly. Lings are about to rock up, but oh my god, the Hellbats are doing a great job at buffering for these Marines. Decent transfuses so far, but the Banshee's coming in from behind as well.
These are vanilla Marines, by the way. GG is called. And we got another Ratata situation. ByuN takes game number 1.
Mm-hmm.
But at least he got to morph into Hellbats.
You're not wrong.
At least he had to morph into Hellbats.
You're not wrong. Ratata couldn't even do that, mate. Oh god. But what's scary about this build from ByuN is that Stim was halfway done. And he had two EVAs on the way behind this. Like, it's not like all in or anything like that. Like, you know, it
just happened to be one end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all in. It was just all he needed.
Yep, that's the best way to put it. It's just a very strong push, and it's also one of those things where, because a couple of things come together there, because ByuN is being so active with those Marines, and because he killed like 2, even 3 Overlords, it's really difficult for the Zerg player to scout that armory and to scout the Banshees, right? To scout the production and to figure out what the hell's going on.
And speaking of figuring out what the hell is going on, that's what we're about to find out here as we load into Hardwire for game number 2. We're in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have a blue Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He, of course, is going to be representing Shopify Rebellion. He is ByuN.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Indian Zerg player representing Alpha X, currently down in the series, but not out. It is Demi.
What do we have here?
It's a question. First thing we got to keep an eye on, is ByuN even going to make a Reaper, or does he even feel it necessary to go for a different build?
Well, you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't break it.
Is it
but
broken?
That was a very... It might have been. I ain't broke Ratata and Demi, so...
It's true.
Maybe. Oh yeah, that's definitely the type of build that you don't do twice in a row. I feel like it's something you bring up about once in the best of series, but so far, ByuN is skipping the Reaper again.
Yeah. So far, things are looking pretty similar, and the reason why I assume that he's going to do the same thing again is because it looks fairly standard, and like, you know, there's more to it than what we've seen so far on stream, right? Like, it leads into the mid game. You know, like it's not necessarily designed to kill the Zerg player. It's there's steps to it to get into a more macro oriented position. So maybe we'll see the same thing. It's hard to say, but so far all things do point to that.
As Demi does not want to risk his Overlord once again. I mean, he scouts the reactor, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does scout the reactor. That first Marine is trying to catch whatever he can, but this time the Overlord does get away.
And it's going to help out Demi a ton here. Again, one of the factors that led to that push being as effective as it was earlier on was the fact that Demi was so supply blocked for so long. So
Yeah.
But we do have a bit of a different push or opening this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, much more greedy, I would say, from ByuN, where he only relies on a single Marine to begin with. He's been working on his add-ons. If a handful of Lings had shown up here for Demi, he probably would have been able to kill an SCV and maybe even deny the CC and force a lift up or something like that. But, you know, Demi, he's terrified because it's ByuN, you know?
Yeah.
Don't blame him.
I would be too.
Oh, exactly, mate.
Hellion drop this time? Potentially?
Yeah, I mean, so this is a little bit different, right? This armory is much quicker, so this is going to be a very strong Hellbat push, this time without a Banshee. So, and it's going to hit so much faster. This is terrifying. And again, Demi doesn't see anything, by the way. He's still blind. He's still in the dark.
Yeah, we were mentioning that how the build that ByuN went for earlier in the series wasn't meant to be all in. This time, it's still not quite all in, but it's a lot more committed, to put it lightly.
Yep, here we go. Hellions are rushing across the map, Marines as well. Again, this time Demi hasn't been supply blocked, so he's been able to macro up a lot more freely. There is going to still be a Banshee behind this, but again, like the way that ByuN got here is different compared to game one. Speaking of, he is already here.
Yep. There are only a handful of queens to defend. The Lynx trying to get us around, trying to get right on top of these Marines, but they don't quite connect.
Exactly. Meanwhile, one of the queens finally goes down. There are enough to finally force this all back, so Demi will not die here. Nice snipe, nice target fire on that medevac.
I don't know. What has Demi lost in this event? Not a whole lot.
Yeah, like one queen, mate. That's it.
That's all it is. And this is a much more, and once again, this is a much more committed opening from ByuN. I mean, he's still sending out Hellions. He knows he needs to do a little bit more damage in order for this to pay off, but he can't quite find it yet.
Yeah, I think this was ByuN being a little bit cheeky. He's like, hey, like, I won game one pretty easily. Maybe I can just be that much more aggressive and end the game even faster. Oh, God. Meanwhile, Demi slips in with his Overlord. He does scout the follow-up. He confirms that a Banshee is going to be on the way, so we do have spores already being thrown down. Again, really nice responses and really nice scouting so far from Demi.
And I kind of like this from ByuN. He's not being too aggressive. I say that as he pushes it with his Hellbats. But again, he is still just doing a really good job of keeping Demi back. He kills a bunch of queens for free. That's not good.
Yeah, 2 queens go down. Can he get another one? Up! Oh.
Not quite yet, but I feel like those 2 queens and all those things were enough in the end for this opening to just about pay for itself.
Yeah, 3 queens, 30 lings for 10 Hellions, I guess Hellbats. Not a bad trade from ByuN. Obviously, he wanted to deal some economic damage, so it was really well done from Demi to be able to avoid that from happening. And I'm happy to say that at least now we're getting a more standard mid-game here from both our players. Demi has been able to keep all his drones alive, to get his bases up and running, to scout, and yeah, he actually has a fighting chance here.
He does. ByuN still trying to maneuver around, still trying to get that economic damage he craves so badly. But it ain't happening.
Yeah, Demi says, no, mate, who do you think you are? I'm the best player in all of goddamn India. It's one of the biggest, most populated countries in the entire world, mate. Let's go.
A billion people in there, yeah.
Exactly. Oh my god. So, and this is the Demi that we know and love, right? He's getting into his upgrades, 1-1, Baneling Speed, Spire is on the way, so he says, enough of your Hydra Lurker meta, let's go, classic Ling Bane Muta.
Demi doing what Demi does best.
Exactly, and ByuN, we'll see if he lets him get there. ByuN is still looking for that damage, right? Like, the Banshees are still active. They still haven't died. Bear that in mind. Like, one of them's close to dying, but they've still been sharking around. At the same time, Demi's active with this drop.
Yeah, I get it. Sharking.
Yeah.
Alright, they're trying to deny some damage. A little bit too many Marines in that, so a couple of them do go down, but not the biggest deals in the world here for ByuN. He still keeps the vast majority of them alive.
Exactly. Meanwhile, there we go. Finally, one of the Banshees does get sniped, but he actually gets a gas geyser for his troubles, and that actually does impact the game because Demi was trying to go into those mutas. Speaking of mutas, the Banshee does scout the Spire.
Like so. That goes into the main. A bunch more queens are going to go down. I'm not convinced these links are going to be enough, but it's enough to force a lift out from ByuN.
Yeah, it is forced to lift up. Finally, the mutas are coming out, so Demi's going to have an easier time cleaning up these drops. But the drops have already paid for themselves. They didn't just deal damage. They didn't just kill injecting queens, but they also scattered that Spire.
I think the most important thing is that they are also still alive. They're still waiting to hit Demi with this multi-prong. Demi gets a couple of mines for free.
Yeah, I mean, nice pickups here, but like the push is still terrifying. And that multi-prong you were talking about, the drop in the main base does draw all this Link Bane over back into the main. And that means ByuN, he can hit this base. He can hit the third. Fourth.
There's a couple of Banelings being sniped here, just so that ByuN has a little bit less to deal with. Demi really wants to try to force that mine to blow its load unnecessarily, and it will in the end. But there's still plenty more where that came from.
Yeah. Oh god!
Okay, good split. Good split right at the end.
Oh god, I was terrified. Eventually these widow mines are going to be cleaned up, but ByuN, he got the fourth base. He killed 15 drones. And what did he lose for it? Sure, he lost the double drop in the main base, but that was it, and he is not stopping. He's just continuing to rally man with gun across the map.
Yeah, I really like this from ByuN. Once he took out that base, he stayed for a little while to try to take out a couple of drones, but after that, just rotate around, regroup with the rest of his reinforcements. Has a much stronger push available right now. Really good snipes on these Banelings.
The Banelings that are getting anywhere near those Marines. Now we have another wave of Widow Mines that are going to really anchor this down. Decent Link Bane here available for Demi, but can he find those connections?
A couple, but not quite enough yet. Demi's starting to lose a lot of Banelings and a lot of gas with that. Look at that gas. Look at the banks in general.
I mean, look at the one player with a bank and the other without one. Oh, God.
Putting it. There's a lot of Banelings here, but no links to buff for them, unfortunately. The Marines have a really nice time taking them out. Very good Widow Mine connections. And ByuN still rallying men. We've got across the map. Demi is trying to reinforce with as many Lings as possible, but what are Lings going to do against these many Marines that are about to have +2 weapons, by the way?
Nothing, mate. I mean, I'm really concerned about the lack of Banelings. What are there? There's 3 Banelings with this army, and that's it? That is not going to be anywhere near enough for Demi. And I feel like as soon as ByuN recognizes that, mate, he can just sim to win. Like, there's, again, nothing really stopping him, and he just takes out another base.
Yeah, ByuN isn't aware of what we know. He doesn't realize that Demi doesn't have enough gas to make all those Banelings. But now he's starting to pull the trigger. He realizes, wait a minute, you don't have a lot of AoE here, buddy.
Exactly. They're finally being morphed in again, but oh god, these Banelings are so vulnerable. Can they even finish in time?
They will, but in the time it took for Demi to morph those in, ByuN already sets up a bit of a minefield here. This is a real good counter harass, though.
Yeah,
and he's doing a really good job keeping ByuN back.
Yeah, the reinforcements of ByuN are stuck at home, but there is a Thor, which means those mutas aren't going to do too much. Finally, the Banelings actually find some decent connections, but there's still so many Marines.
This one Marauder is the absolute MVP here. Not only slowing down all those Banelings, but I'm not sure if you saw a lot of Banelings actually connected with that one Marauder. So the Marines, the Thor splash damage is massive, and just like that, ByuN will take that series 2-0. And I gotta be honest, that was a pretty exciting game number 2 we got.
Yeah, GG. Like, Demi, he was actually able to play StarCraft.
Yeah.
As opposed to game 1. So at least he was able to show off what he's made of to ByuN, as best as he could, and he was able to make ByuN bleed a little bit. You know, that muta harass, 15 SCVs went down. Like, that wasn't too bad.
Exactly, and that was a macro game from Demi. Maybe not quite in the same meta that ByuN is used to, but still, Demi didn't have to rely on any, any tricks here
Mhm.
to put the fight on ByuN. ByuN absolutely had to work for that victory, and with that, he's gonna advance to face Maxside, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that is the end of the run for our Demi. So give him plenty of love and plenty of support. He did fight hard to get as far as he did here. I don't know if we can favor any player against ByuN. So it's always a tough ask. Got to be one of the best to take out a player of the caliber of ByuN.